Hello, everyone. It's October 7th, 2021, and this is the weekly Backdrop developer meeting. Today, we have a special agenda where we're going to be doing some road mapping for the 1.21 release. And before we get started, we'll do some quick intros. My name is Nate Lampton. I'm in Oakland, California. I'm Quick Sketch on the internet, and I'm a core committer. Let's go to Robert.
I'm Robert Lang, bug folder on the internet, coming to you from Altadena, California. I've been working on odds and ends and documentation lately. Let's go to Joseph.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a backend developer, and I've been working on the reference module and the display suite module recently. So, yeah. And
Let's go to Tim.
Yeah, I'm Tim Erickson. I'm in Deerwood, Minnesota, getting ready for Backdrop Live, which is just 2 weeks from tomorrow. Is that right? I think so. Yep, it is. So get ready for that. And that's everybody, isn't it?
Just me.
Oh, sorry, Greg.
Oh, no worries. I was distracted as well. So hi, my name is Greg. I'm joining from Greece. Generally interested in anything related to Backdrop core and the community, just here to help. Yep.
Okay. Well, great. Like I said, today is going to be road mapping. There are a couple of small updates that are announcements. There are 3 new contrib modules this week: layout contextual links. Thanks, Robert. That was one of yours. Resource time slots and video hero block. Other than those contrib modules, there's also the announcement that 1.20.1 was released. So the bug fix release for our latest version of Backdrop. The big fix there being there was an issue with the listing of blocks, the custom list of custom blocks. That issue is now fixed, as well as some other small fixes here and there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen kind of as a way that we can structure this. And we talked about doing this differently, but we haven't had any changes that have been ready for this. So let's see, survey. It is survey, isn't it?
Sorry,
Yes.
Yeah,
before we proceed, did the 120.1 actually come out?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't see any really.
You created an issue. We didn't action it yet.
Oh no, you're kidding me. I thought that that's crazy.
No
You're
worries.
right, it didn't. I scheduled it and said that we were going to do it, and then I guess in my mind, I guess I'd already done it. Oh well, I guess sorry, I totally slipped on that one. Wow.
No worries, we can do that at some point. No worries. Let's proceed.
All right, let's do it tomorrow. That was the original plan. I think was last Friday. So let's do it let's do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Huh. That's crazy. Okay. Where's my mind? Okay. So as a way to structure this call, we have this survey that was put together quite some time ago, all the way back in February of this year. But it's still a pretty good guideline, just because the list of items that were promoted here were really good in the first place, and we've made action on some of them, but not all of them. And so I copied them into the agenda for today. I think I took the top 15, and 2 of them have already been crossed off. The exposed file name filter for the media library, and merging all of the update pages into a single page. So if we start from the top of the list, and kind of get the status of each one of these. The first one is, and the most popular one, was add field group functionality to core, issue 647. And this one I immediately derailed in the very first comment, I think, saying that, oh, it would be so great to have something like multi-field or field collection, and a couple of other people also made that same mix-up down later in the issue. This is not about that. This is about the ability purely to group single value, or maybe not single values, but group fields into field sets or vertical tabs or other kinds of groupings on the node form but has nothing to do at all with like grouping together multiple fields and then making the group of them all multi-value. So this is really about organizing the existing fields on the page, not changing the way that storage works or anything like that. So the scope of this is actually really not huge. However,
Actually, Nate, can I interrupt quick and just say one of the things I think would be helpful would be sometimes in this kinds of brainstorming sessions, people do this T-shirt sizing thing where they say,
oh,
is it a small, medium, or large task?
yeah, I like that.
And I think it would be helpful. That's something we don't do often enough, which is figure out which of these are small, which are medium, and which are large, or even
Yeah.
extra large.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's add a column here for size. Well, let's define what these things are as well. So sizes, what does sizes actually mean? So what are we going to go with? Small, medium, large? Is that it? And extra large?
I think that's a fine place to start, just in the interest of keeping moving.
Okay. Small, medium, large, extra large. And so do you want to add definitions to these things?
Well,
Extra large.
Hurt. Go ahead.
Extra large needs a designer to look at it.
Okay, yeah, needs design work. How about
not because it's actually hard, but because it's hard to get designers to look at anything.
yeah, and this one extra API breaks might also be an extra large possible V2 candidates. Those sorts of things. So large is like complex.
Yeah, a lot of effort, things like that.
Yeah. High effort. Possibly broken up across releases, across minor versions. Okay, medium is this would be like challenging but straightforward. But
straightforward, yeah. I was to say that large could be there's no consensus, or there's multiple, no clear technical direction.
Unclear direction.
Yeah.
Okay, and then small is this is relatively simple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low hanging fruits, yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
so
could we change on Excel? Could we change needs design work to like potentially needs expert feedback?
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How about specialist?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so field group functionality. So the status of this one, general direction has been decided here. As I said, it's not multi-field or field collections, it's only grouping functionality. There are also existing contrib solutions that we can use as a basis for this, like pulling from 777.
Actually, the field group module for Backdrop is actually quite stable.
Oh, and there's contrib version available. So I would say this is a medium.
Yeah, likely.
Sounds like it.
Just an M would suffice.
We need an advocate for this one. There's who's the maintainer of the contrib version?
I don't know.
I'm looking at it now. I'll let you know.
Okay, great.
Well, I assume there's no objections to that going into core, right?
I haven't seen any. Okay. Yeah. Allow multiple file and image uploads. Issue 1380. This is another one where there's like multiple contrib solutions, although the contrib solution is not, the contrib solution is kind of a hack, honestly, although it does work. I think Olaf mentioned BW Panda mentioned that there's HTML5 Upload, and that's the one that I'm saying it's kind of a hack. Its solution is not actually portable into core, like the way that it's like directly checking the files array and just like short circuiting a whole bunch of stuff. But there is another issue in here that is a little bit more targeted. Issue 440, support the multiple HTML5 element. And this one has had a pull request for quite some time that Doc Wilmont has been working on. It looks like wait. Oh yeah, this is a pull request. Oh, looks like Doc Wilmot's made a new pull request that
12 days ago.
As of 12 days ago. Yeah, I thought I saw this come in. Yeah, and this is really promising work. I reviewed some of this stuff, I think, for 119, and I was trying to see if it was feasible to pull in. I think that this one with focus could get in pretty easily. Like the technical direction is kind of solved. We have a lot of examples to pull from. But it's hard. So literally by our definition,
large.
That's a medium, challenging but straightforward.
Okay. Herb is the maintainer of the field group thing.
Oh, Herb. Okay, great.
With a question mark, possibly, yeah.
Okay. Next up is reference module into core, issue 1301. Lots of different people are working on this problem, and right now we have a contrib version of this module that is in progress. I think that there's one, according to the issue, there's one blocking core problem, and that is this add entity view into core issue, which has just really gotten started.
So have we decided, is it going to be reference or references?
I believe that the plan is to use the reference singular module.
Yep, correct.
Okay. And are we planning to provide upgrade paths from both the respective things eventually?
I believe there are pull requests to provide. They haven't been merged yet, but there are pull requests to provide upgrade paths from entity reference, references, and node reference.
Cool.
Yeah, I think eventually was the key word there, Greg.
Yeah.
Where I think it would be possible or feasible to, I think at one point we'd said that we need to do upgrades for all of these things, but as this issue got quagmired, I think we de-scoped the upgrade as being a prerequisite.
Yeah, it could be a follow-up.
Yeah, so that definitely could be a follow-up. Yeah, there's lots of people that have been taking a stab at this one. Joseph, you said at the beginning of the meeting you've been working on it. Do you want to give us your feelers on the state of things?
It's not ready yet, but I've fixed several bugs in it recently, so I think it's relatively stable at this point. My dad and I have actually been using it as our primary reference module on all of our projects.
So yeah, your work has been the one stabilizing the contrib version, not porting it right to core. Well,
the plan is that once it is stable, we just take the module and put it in core.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's always been the way that module has been architected. It doesn't do everything almost by design, because it's literally like it only does what we would want to add to core.
Okay. So are we saying it's close?
I think it's close.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give this one an M.
This would be a big one.
Yeah, that would be a huge.
Yeah, we've been. I think that was it Mike started the efforts. I'm not sure if he was doing the references, and it's been years and years now that we've been looking into that.
Yep. Yeah, Mike started that quite a while ago. Yeah, and it's getting hung up on like not real big problems, but it definitely has some things that touch on core, and I think that with Mike, that was kind of the hang up, is that like he wasn't super active in the core like pull request workflow. And so things got stuck there. Joseph is a different beast. He's getting his fingers dirty all the time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess this is going really actually pretty quickly. We can go back and recap all of these maybe once we get through the initial list.
Sure.
So recipe project type into backdrop, issue 3753. This one is still open, but is kind of in a questionable state.
Well,
yeah.
it's not questionable. It's an exploratory phase of what we can do now and what
Right.
we need. So maybe we need a little bit of, another release cycle to flesh out what needs to be done. If we do actually need a new project type, like a high level project type, or we can just go on with what we have and add small functionality. Not saying that we might not eventually need a different project type, but at this point, it's not necessarily a requirement.
Yeah, this one I almost feel like maybe we should close this issue and then open up new issues that are specific explorations,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's still helpful to have this one giant meta. But now it's one of those issues that's kind of picked up a lot of baggage, and so it might be good to start fresh.
Yeah, I think that the difference with the rest of the issues is that this one was more like a meta. Some things have been done, help us move forward, but it's still there because there's other things that, yeah.
Sure. The original issue is very different than sort of where the discussion has emerged. So I don't know. I think it might be time to rephrase it. I would agree.
Yeah.
But I got to figure out how to do that. So I sort of view this issue as sort of having sort of semi-complete. Like for me, we got enough that I feel like it's possible to do kind of a recipe right now, right? But we haven't made all the decisions, and there's still a lot of work left to go. But
yep. So maybe let's.
I think,
okay.
I think basically the next steps really depends on who is this feature for, and if the idea is that it's a simplified way for someone to like provide a modules page with less chance to break their site, then probably the next steps would be like experimenting with user interfaces for managing and creating these things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does feel like what Nate added there as a comment, that separate follow-up issues should be filed and maybe this one closed, or summarized, because there's a lot of ideas that have been mentioned there. Maybe question mark is the appropriate thing.
Okay.
yeah, because we don't know what we can't gauge how difficult it is till we know what the next step is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Next up is adding an icon font to core, issue 364. This has had some activity very recently.
Yeah.
So the initial idea here was like, let's put Font Awesome in core. There apparently there's also Libra icons.
Which is very limited. It's not. Yeah.
Most recently,
Wes chimed in as well.
Yeah, that was great to see Wes come in once again. Here we go. Yeah, as of a couple of weeks ago. So the thing is about icon fonts is that icon fonts have been kind of a combination of a convenience and a workaround for quite a while. Like they were introduced because like support for vector imagery wasn't really widely supported, but they're also just super convenient because you have this huge collection of icons like Font Awesome, and then you can add that icon anywhere just by adding a class. And so what's been happening here recently is that there are a lot of new solutions for doing vector art just generally. Mostly SVGs have become really well supported. And now there's new approaches that we can use SVGs to kind of imitate the functionality of an icon set like Font Awesome. And actually, I think somebody even noted in here that, this latest contributor, Dave Gandy, pointed out that there's now an SVG version of Font Awesome. So even Font Awesome itself is kind of possibly considering moving away from a font set and using SVGs. So this gets a little bit crazy because technically we're not actually sure what direction we should go here because there's a lot of options. In addition to that, the scope of it really has yet to be decided, like exactly how many icons we're going to actually use. It would be nice though, we have icons throughout Backdrop already that I think actually are using Font Awesome, but we're not using the Font Awesome library itself. We're literally just taking the icons out of Font Awesome. I think they're even pings.
Yeah, the PNG versions of it.
Yeah, they're PNG versions. And then those are the things that are on like the admin/config page, the config dashboard, and the admin menu. They're actually icons from Font Awesome, but we're not using Font Awesome itself.
Yeah, things that could be replaced are also the icons in status, error and warning messages, which are also used in the dblog. There's quite a few places here and there. There've been issues where we considered for smaller screens to replace the drop-down menus with icons because they get too large and they break things, the layout. So yeah, this is basically a metaphor, or not a meta, but it would unblock certain other issues.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if we should have a separate issue or a sub issue or something that is like use SVGs or use vectors for icons or an icon solution, an icon approach, because add an icon font decor is a specific solution, like that would definitely be something like add Font Awesome. But that's not necessarily the direction that this is heading, where we may end up with some other SVG driven approach that isn't adding an entire font.
Yeah.
Well, this one, I'd probably say based on its I'm not
It's
sure
not high effort. It's not high effort, but we don't have a unclear.
Right.
We do
yeah,
have
yeah, I think it would be a large based on our.
Well, right.
What do you think, Tim?
Well, we might need like two categories. One is technical effort, and one is community or decision effort. Because this feels like it's technically not a hard issue, but you're right. The decision making part is the hard issue. So I'm comfortable with it being large, just because.
Yeah, well, let's just put it in here in this.
I mean,
column.
if we sort of could come to a decision today on what the answer is, I'm guessing that actually implementing it would be small, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if there is an answer today that is clear.
Right.
Indigozella basically came up with a newish idea just a couple of weeks ago. Also, Wes put forward somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's a
he did a proof of concept back in March of like a different approach as well. Although I think he likes Indigozella's more.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Dave says, we should just take a look at Font Awesome and see what they're doing, because they also have a similar solution that is kind of similar to what Indigozella suggested.
Besides using it in core, the most obvious thing would be allowing something like icons to be added to menu items, right? For content editors, I mean, for site builders.
Yeah, that would be a whole different issue for sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to find the benefit, because the benefit of adding that icon font to core is that we can move forward with certain things that such as dark mode themes and icons switching automatically to the respective contrast or whatever. So most of the issues that come to mind are related to core things, not things that end users could use. And I'm thinking that the only benefit that end users could directly use is site builders being able to specify icons for their menus or something like that.
Yeah, I think that there's other direct benefits. The quality of the image, the icons are higher with vector art. They will look better on high DPI screens.
Yeah,
and they're generally smaller. So there's other benefits.
No, I'm not talking about benefits, but we'll get benefits. I'm saying how can people, end users, use this feature?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, I see.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that this would just enable us to add features they could use in the future more easily.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. So this is that dark mode theme that you're talking about. Yep. That would be beneficial. Okay. So automatic updates. Automatic updates is the next issue. It's issue 2018. There's no recent progress on this, but there's a lot of directions that that we have to pursue.
There is some progress, but again, we're stuck with the things that need to be done before. So you're listing at the meta, whereas I was referring to the, I think, I was referring to the first issue link there.
This one? That's where I am, 2018.
Yeah, sorry, I was referring to a recent action in the 4.4, but yeah. And then I think Herb mentioned that there's pending work that needs to be done before we.
What is the difference here from other updates for security / modules auto updates?
No, this is the UI, I think, auto updates.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the meta has the signing, like there's a lot of things there.
I see. Yeah, this is the final piece. Yeah, this is the automatic part, as it says.
And that's pending actually, I think, on you to move it forward, Nate. I think it's the signing bit. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm the one that does step forward on a couple of times doing digital signatures is I'm on the docket for.
Yeah, and I think the last where we were left last time with that was that Drupal was doing something that we could leverage. I think that the last comment is around that.
It looks like somebody actually updated the session here, or the summary. Yeah, this is interesting. The update framework with Typo 3 and Joomla. So that's interesting. So they're trying to build a single update system that can update all of their CMSs. Interesting.
I think there was a person in the community, the name was Chris or something, that started this as a defining a framework. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But I can't remember what it was called. Mike, I think was his name. Shoot. Yeah, I can pull that up at some point.
So maybe that's because it says Drupal as well, not just Joomla. So maybe that's the result of that initiative.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because he'd been working on that for years actually to build out something that was like a separate thing. Yeah, maybe we should look into this. Yeah, Ted Bowman has been working on this. I'm curious what the approach is here. Like if it's going to be something that is bundled with these CMSs, or if it's going to be like something that's like an external application that then updates their applications, that sort of thing. Because that I think was the approach that Mike had been taking that I was a little bit unclear about. I was like, well, now it's like there's lots of other, like if you want to say like have a third party piece of software that updates your software, it's like, well, Softaculous does that.
Yes.
And it actually does it really pretty well. It includes full backups and everything of your code and of your files and of your database. Like Softaculous is actually really pretty good at being an external update service. So in my opinion, like the value needs to be like, it needs to be out of the box. It can't just be a third-party thing. So let's see, automatic updates. I would say, I'm not sure if it's large or medium.
We have a direction.
Yeah, we have a direction and actually lots of code in front of us.
Yeah.
But it is straightforward, so I guess that makes it a medium.
I think that time is an issue there. A bottleneck.
It might be split across multiple versions. You know, like I mean, it already is, right? Like
Yeah.
the ability to self-update even was something that we added a long time ago. So that's been split up already.
So this is one of the issues that again is a meta. So it gets difficult to sort of like classify it. It's one of those special cases where we are listing a meta there, which entails the danger of, you know, not getting it done in a single cycle.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Unless Tim.
Well, I drifted off for a second, but if there is, if a meta like is a problem, then defining for some of these things, picking like one next step, right, might be helpful to moving us along, as opposed to, I think that's what you were saying, Gregory.
That's where I was getting at. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Good. But we can go ahead to the next one.
Okay, the
so
next one.
Maybe add a note in that automatic updates thing that at least we should consider getting the signing.
Yeah, that's definitely the most obvious and least blocked thing. It literally just needs the time to be put in. The one thing that makes it a little bit complex is that it's one of those issues that requires coordination between backdropcms.org and backdrop core.
The infrastructure.
Infrastructure. And so whenever these happen, what's kind of happened in the past, like with telemetry, for example, like it's been people like myself that have access to both sides of things that actually push things forward. And I think that that kind of continues to kind of be the case, just because setting up both the server and the client is complicated. I don't know. It's definitely possible for anybody to contribute to that part, but it's more difficult unless they're actually working on backdropcms.org itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So next up, expose fields to visibility conditions.
That's Jen's baby.
Yeah, it's Jen's baby, and she'd been wanting to to get it in a couple of versions. But honestly, I think this one would be a very good contrib candidate as like where things should start, because there's nothing that makes it be core specific. It definitely is good core functionality. It's basically bringing views like flexibility to layouts, you know, where you can use fields in your views. And right now, layouts and fields have a very limited interaction, at least as far as conditionals are concerned. You can place a field in a layout, but you can't use it as a conditional of any kind. So I would probably say this one is a medium. But I'd also say, you know, make it a contrib module first, and then we can just pull all those classes into core. It also would make testing a lot easier, I think, like for people that want to try it out. Although now we have sandboxes, I don't know. You'd get a lot more production testing, I think, if it was in contrib. Okay, allow bulk operations for updating entity values, issue 4401. This one, there's actually, maybe I'm wrong about this. I was gonna say, I think there's a contrib module that already does this, but no, there's not. I was thinking about something else. Yeah, but there is the Drupal 7 module of views bulk operations that has this capability, that it's a matter of porting it over to Backdrop. The thing is bulk operations differ between 777 and Backdrop kind of substantially, but it's not particularly complicated the way that we've done it versus the way that 777 implemented it. Things like I can't remember quite what the actions are. There's some of the actions happen immediately and they're like simple actions, but some of them have confirmation forms, like deleting a whole bunch of nodes, I think, is an example. Or I think canceling a bunch of user accounts. You get to choose the type of cancellation on the user accounts, that there's like a confirmation form. And the quick fix to work around, like if you need configuration on your actions, is that the action itself doesn't get performed by the view. Instead, the action just sets a cookie saying these are the things that need to be updated, and then you get taken to a confirmation form that then reads the cookie and then acts on all of the values. Or I'm not sure if it's cookies or states, but yeah, the action doesn't actually do anything other than store the list of things that are about to receive the action, and they get taken to a separate confirmation form that actually performs it. So this could use that same approach, where the action for bulk updating would just store a field name and the list of nodes to be updated, and then the form can do whatever action is necessary to update those field values. So I'd probably say this one's maybe in the medium. Maybe it's kind of almost small, but medium. Let's see, and then we got to one that's already done. Yay.
That's done as well.
Oh yeah, better taxonomy permissions. Yep, this one got done. I thought I marked that one. Yep, done. Yeah. Okay, upgrade UI module, similar to migrate UI in 888 to help moving from 777.
That's very high value.
This issue confuses me though, because looking at it, Jen's brought up that she's written a contrib module, but the contrib module is for Drupal 7, not for Backdrop. So the contrib module is like a prepare your site to move to Backdrop, not a I have a Backdrop site, I point it at a Drupal 7 database and then import it.
Maybe the bit that concerns core is maybe that module automatically pulls from the from somewhere to figure out the status of things in core for suggesting what needs to be done. So basically, if there's a module, a contrib module in D7 being used, and that has been merged into core, maybe we need to facilitate, I don't know, parsing our code base and figuring out which of those modules have been merged or something like that. I don't know. I need to have another look at this one.
Could be interesting to have a Backdrop version and a Drupal 7 version. That the Drupal 7 version is like preparing your site, and then it gets swapped out with the Backdrop version during the update. That is like, okay, what do you do now?
Yeah.
I was always. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna talk about the screenshots and stuff. The work that Jen has done here. That this is all within Drupal 7. That it just tells you the state of things. Like it tells you how ready your site is to be upgraded to Backdrop. So the idea is that you install it in your 777 site. You look at the recommendations that it has, you make some recommendations, and you get your site as ready as possible, and then you use that database as the source of your import into Backdrop. But that's very, very different from the Drupal 8 and 9 approach of having a migrate UI that looks at your Drupal 7 database and then like pulls stuff in. So you set up a complete Backdrop install first, and then have it look at another database, as opposed to what we do right now, where we're entirely dependent on update.php to do the upgrading.
This is something that I was keep bringing up over the years, but because I'm not doing actual upgrades, it's being, I don't know, deferred or maybe shut down because that's not the way we do it. But I was always saying that it should be, the process should be build a blank, a vanilla backdrop site and then feed it your database from D7 and then all the work is done. But that's not how things are done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think that's what this issue is supposed to be, is that it's supposed to be that same concept, that you would install Backdrop first and then migrate content into it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. This is another good contrib candidate, like as far as where the work should occur, though, because there's no real reason for this to be necessary as part of core. I've even heard some mumblings about in the land of Drupal that migrate should be moved back out of core, because Drupal has now taken the same approach as Backdrop, that Drupal 8 to 9, for example, doesn't use migrate. There's no migrate plugin to move your site from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9. Instead, they're using update.php, same as before, because now that Drupal is pursuing a more backwards compatible approach, there's no need to have migrate to move your site from a previous version, Drupal 8, into Drupal 9. So it should be moved back out into contrib. That's the line of thinking there. I'm not sure if that'll actually happen because they still have, the 600,000 Drupal 7 sites that are out there. They still want to try to cater to those users. Although, obviously, that's what we're doing too, in a different way. I would probably rate this one as definitely large, but maybe extra large. But I guess it doesn't require API changes, so maybe just large. Next one is done for a long time. I'd like to keep going. We only have 3 left, but I have another meeting and we are all out of time for today. Maybe we should talk about next steps here. Ideas.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Is how do we move from saying something's a good idea to getting action on it? I would suggest that if somebody's interested in some of these, we leverage Backdrop Live in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
As to spin out some specific, like, the references module we've talked about at Backdrop Live before,
Mm-hmm.
And had meetings on, and I think that is productive. But really, it needs somebody who wants to spearhead it.
I would suggest another column to state value. So if it's high value.
Yeah, that we could talk about. Yeah, we don't have probably time to do that right now, but
we don't.
I think that's not a bad idea, Frank. I like it.
Yeah. Do you think? And I didn't take all of them. We only have 3 left on this list, but there's more that I didn't copy over.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, we could at least continue this discussion next week.
Yes.
Continue doing the road mapping, and we might get a different audience next week as well. So I think that might be a good idea.
Sure.
That we continue just doing road mapping next week as well.
Are we gonna reopen the survey just to see if things have changed, priorities for people or not?
Greg, I think the idea is we will at some point, but I don't think anybody has the bandwidth to do it right now. So
okay, cool.
It's just not happening right now. But.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, folks, for joining this meeting. I really appreciate it. I like the sizing exercise. I think that was quite productive. Going through them. Oh my goodness, look at these new people. I'm sorry, I was screen sharing. I didn't even notice that BW Panda, Doc Wellman, and Justin all joined. So hi, welcome. And sorry, goodbye. So well, thanks so much, folks, and we'll catch up again next week. We'll continue this exercise. And sorry, I didn't even notice our new participants one last time.
All right, cool.
Bye,
I can stick around for a few